Today, we're talking about pre-Spanish period, ang panahon bago pa dumating ang mga Espanyol sa Pilipinas. This was a time when our ancestors already had their own culture, government, beliefs, and way of life. They built communities, practiced their own religions, traded with neighboring countries, and even had their own writing system called baybayin. So let's explore how the early Filipinos lived, simple yet rich in wisdom, creativity, and tradition.
So guys, let's start sa pinakasimula. Ang panahon ng bato o Stone Age from the word Paleolithic, Paleo means old, Lithos means stone. Dito nagsimula ang lahat. Noon, mga primitive pa ang mga tao. Nomadic sila, meaning palipat-lipat ng tirahan. Naghahanap ng pagkain at ligtas na lugar. Gamit nila ang mga batong kasangkapan, panghiwa, pagtanggal ng balat ng hayop, paghukay, lahat gawa sa bato. Yung mga gamit na yan ay nakita sa Tabon Cave sa Palawan at Laurante Cave sa Cagayan. Mga freak tools na libu-libong taon na. Pero habang tumatagal, natuto na silang magsaka at manirahan sa isang lugar. Kaya ito na yung Neolithic period o bagong panahon ng bato. Gumamit na sila ng pinakinis na bato, tinatawag na adze, para sa pagputol ng kahoy o paggawa ng bahay. So dito nagsimula yung idea ng improvement. Hindi na lang basta survival, kundi innovation na rin. During the Neolithic period, may mga archaeological sites na nagtapuan sa Arco Cave sa Cagayan, Duyang Cave sa Palawan, Dimulot sa Isabela, at Candaba sa Pampanga. Around 3000 BC, gumagawa ng mga sinaunang Pilipino ng adzes, shell ornaments at pottery bilang gamit sa araw-araw at sa ritual. Pero nang dumating ang mga Chinese porcelain, unti-unti nang napalitan ang mga tradisyonal na palayok, showing early cultural exchange between Filipinos and other Asian civilizations. Moving on to the Iron Age, dito na talaga umangat ang teknolohiya ng mga sinaunang Pilipino. They learn how to make tools and weapons from copper, bronze, gold, and iron. They practice smelting and refining ores. Ibig sabihin, pinapainit nila ang metal para may hulmas sa bagong gamit. Interestingly, the Philippines skipped the Bronze Age. From stone, diretsyo na agad sila sa bakal. This discovery changed everything. Metal tools made farming easier, weapons became stronger, and trade became more efficient. In fact, may mga smelting sites sa Palawan, showing that early Filipinos could remelt and recycle metal. This was the start of early industry and craftsmanship, kasama ang paggawa ng bakal, tela, at mga alahas.
Before the Spaniards came, may mga well-organized and thriving communities na talaga sa ating bansa. The first settlers were the Aitas or the Negritos, believed to have crossed the land bridges from Asia around 25,000 years ago. They lived simple lives, which is hunters at gatherers lang sila, which means umaasa sila sa kalikasan para mabuhay. They hunted animals, fish, and collected fruits and roots. So, simple man siya, pero they were matalino at maparaan na always adapting to their environment. Then next one is the Indonesians around 5,000 years ago. They traveled by boats from South Asia and settled permanently. They built houses made of light materials like bamboo and nipa, used fire for cooking, and were taller and stronger in build compared to the Negritos. They also began small-scale farming and early boat building, which is a sign of improving technology. Then lastly is yung Malays, arrived around 200 BC. And using their balangay boats, they were the most advanced among the three groups they have government, agriculture, music, arts, religion, and even a writing system. They organized themselves into barangays, each with a leader called the Datu, and established early trade and cultural exchanges with nearby regions. So even before colonization ay organized and civilized na talaga ang mga Pilipino. May social structure, may laws, at may sense of unity and cooperation sila.
Religion played a huge role sa buhay ng mga sinaunang Pilipino. They believed in a supreme God named Bathala, the creator of heaven, earth, and man. Si Bathala ang pinakamataas na Diyos, pero meron din silang mga diwata at anito, representing nature, harvest, love, and even death. They believe spirits live in trees, rivers, mountains, and rocks, kaya lagi silang nagbibigay alay ng pagkain o hayop as a sign of respect and protection. Their faith was deeply connected to nature. If nature is happy, life is good. They also believe in life after death. That's why nililibig nila ang patay kasama ang gamit, pagkain, at minsan ay alahas. Dahil naniniwala silang magagamit pa ito sa kabilang buhay. By the 13th century, Islam reached the Philippines through Arab traders. Karimul Makdum built the first mosque in Simunul Island, Tawi-Tawi, while Raha Baginda continued spreading Islam in Mindanao. Over time, Muslim communities known as the Bangsamoro were formed, showing how early Filipinos were open to new beliefs and ideas. So, even before Spanish colonization, may diverse religious system na tayo. A mix of animism and organized religion, reflecting both spirituality and science in understanding life and nature. Did you know na marunong rin sa astronomy ang mga sinaunang Pilipino? They didn't have clocks or calendars, but they used the sun, moon, and stars as their guide. Through careful observation, they learned to tell time, predict seasons, and guide their farming and sailing activities. They called the moon buwan and used its phases to mark the months. They even had specific names for the moon phases. Gimata, which means when the moon first appears o parang nagbubukas ng mata. Katin is the third quarter. Malasumbang is the new moon. From this, we got the words araw or day and gabi or night. Their knowledge of the sky wasn't just scientific, it was cultural and spiritual too. They believed that stars and constellation brought guidance, fortune, and balance. So, kahit wala pa silang telescope, the early Filipinos already practiced a form of astronomy based on observation, experience, and beliefs.
Ang political system noon ay tinatawag na barangay, which came from the Malay word balangay, meaning boat. Each barangay usually had 30 to 100 families led by a datu or sometimes a raha or lakan. The datu acted as the leader, protector, and judge, maintaining peace and justice within the community. He was assisted by a council of elders, respected members who helped him make important decisions. Society was divided into three main classes. Maharlika or Timawa, sila ang mga malalayang tao. They could own a land, trade freely, and choose their own work. And second, aliping na mamahay. Slaves who live in their own homes, serve their masters during planting or harvest, and could have their own family. And lastly, aliping sa gigilid, live with their masters, had no property, and needed permission to marry. Pero pwede silang maging malaya if they paid their debts or prove bravery. What's impressive is that may social mobility noon. Kahit alipin ka, may chance kang umangat sa buhay. They also had laws, some written, but most were passed orally. These were announced by the Umalahokan, parang town crier na nag-iikot sa barangay to spread news and rules. Justice was taken seriously, and punishments were based on fairness and balance, a sign that early Filipinos already valued leadership, justice, and community harmony long before Western rules.
Before the Spaniards came, early Filipinos already had their own unique fashion and cultural tradition that show identity, creativity, and status. One example is tattooing, known as pintados. Both men and women, especially in the Visayas, wore tattoos to symbolize bravery, achievement, and beauty. They were also skilled in weaving and jewelry making, using piña and abaca fibers to create intricate fibers and crafting jewel from pearls, gold, and metal worn by both genders. When it comes to clothing, men wore the kangan, a short-sleeved jacket, while women wore the bahag and saya, with colors showing their social status. Music and dance were also central to their culture. Traditional songs and dance expressed love, labor, faith, and thanksgiving, and were often used in rituals for courtship, healing, and worship. So even before colonization, Filipino already had a rich and artistic culture, expressing who they were through fashion, music, and tradition.
Ang pangunahing kabuhayan noong pre-Spanish period ay pagsasaka o agriculture. They planted rice, coconut, sugarcane, bananas, and various fruit and vegetables. Dalawa ang main methods of farming. Una, the kaingin system, where they cleared land by cutting and burning dried plants, then planting crops afterwards. Then, the wet method kung saan gumagamit ng irrigation at mga dike para tumubo ang palay sa tubig. One of the greatest proofs of their engineering skills is the Banawe rice terraces built over 2,000 years ago by the Ifugaos. Ginawa lang nila ito gamit ang kamay at simpleng bato. Yet hanggang ngayon ginagamit pa rin. A true wonder of early Filipinos science and technology. Bukod sa farming, may pangangaso, pangingisda at paggawa ng bangka at pangangalakal. The balangay boats were used for trading between islands, minsan umaabot pa sa Borneo at China. Trade was originally done through barter system, exchanging rice, gold, pearls, and pottery for other goods. Later, ginamit na nila ang piloncitos or yung small gold coins, the earliest form of currency in the Philippines. This shows that even before the Spaniards, Filipinos already had a stable economy, rooted in cooperation and innovation.
Before the Spaniards came, the ancient Filipino already had a logical and organized number system. Proof na matatalino na talaga sila pagdating sa math, trade, at measurement. Here are some of their terms. Puh means 10, daan means 100, gatos also meant 100 in Old Tagalog and Visayan. Minsan ginagamit to mean many or countless. Libo means 1,000, daksa means 10,000, yuta means 100,000, and angaw-angaw means million. They even use the prefix maika to form numbers beyond 10. For example, maikalawang isa means 11, maikatlong isa means 21, maikaapat dalawa means 32. It was a very patterned and consistent system, similar to how we count in modern day. For instance, a trader might say 2 laksa at 5,000. That means 25,000, or 3 yuta for 300,000. Before the Spaniards arrived, our ancestors already had their own language and writing system, showing that early Filipinos were already educated, organized, and advanced even without Western influence. Archaeologists have discovered several important artifacts that prove this. First is the Laguna copper plate. Inscription dated around 900 AD. It's the oldest written document in the Philippines. Parang ancient legal record, it was written in a mix of Old Malay, Sanskrit, Javanese, and early Tagalog, showing that our ancestors already had connected to the other Southeast Asia kingdom. Through trade and culture, next is the Calatagan Pat, found in Batangas. It has ancient inscriptions along its rim, and experts believe it was used in rituals or offering. Proof that writing wasn't just for record keeping but also had spiritual and cultural meaning. Then we have the Butuan silver strip, discovered in Mindanao. It contains engraved written text written in early script, possibly used for religious and ceremonial purpose. This shows that even different regions of the Philippines already had their own writing traditions before colonization.
So, even before modern medicine, may sarili ng healing practices sa mga ninuno natin. The babaylan or albularyo serve as the doctor, midwife, and spiritual leader in the community. They believe their healing powers came from spirits or divine forces, and they combine rituals, prayers, and herbal medicine to treat illnesses. And some examples of plants they use are the anonang leaves for ulcers and wounds, salaksak for stomach problems, and sampagita roots to help in childbirth recovery. They practice massage therapy, hydrotherapy, and even divination, predicting sickness and healing through rituals. And their approach to healing was holistic, which means balancing body, mind, and spirit, showing a deep understanding of both physical and emotional health. So kahit wala pang hospitals, may sariling medical science na ang Pilipino noon, which is natural, spiritual, and effective naman. So, the earliest records of pre-colonial architecture in the Philippines were the rock shelters and caves, like the Tabon Cave in Palawan. And during this time, early Filipinos were nomadic, which means palipat-lipat ng tirahan, and they mostly depended on nature for shelter rather than building permanent homes. So, as they started creating tools, nagsimula na ring lumitaw ang tent-like shelters at tree houses. These simple structures serve as temporary homes for the communities engaged in hunting and gathering. And later on, bago pa dumating ang mga Spaniards, natutunan na ng mga Pilipino na gumawa ng matibay na bahay gamit ang bamboo, palm leaves, vines, grass, at kahoy. So most of the houses were rectangular, built on stilts to protect from floods and animals, with thatched roofs and low walls for the ventilation. And the most iconic among this is the nipahat or bahay kubo, a lightweight house that could even be lifted and moved to another place when needed. So, symbolizing the Filipino spirit of bayanihan. So, even in the early times, the Filipinos were already resourceful, practical, and in tune with the nature when it came to building their homes.